Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we are taking a deep dive into a really powerful new tool from Google Cloud. Seriously, it's set to change how we all build chatbots and voice agents. So let's get into it. This is your builder's guide to the Conversational Agents console.
Okay, so if you're a developer working in conversational AI, you know this feeling all too well, right? You're caught in this classic dilemma. On one hand, you can build a bot that's super predictable, follows a script perfectly, but the second a user goes even slightly off that script, it just breaks. Or you go all in on a fully generative AI. It's creative, it's flexible, but it might also just, make things up or go completely off-brand. It's this constant battle between total control and real capability.
Well, that tough choice is exactly what Google is tackling with this new console. The whole idea is that you don't have to choose anymore. This thing actually merges two absolute powerhouses, the superstructured world of Dialogflow CX with the incredible generative power of Vertex AI Agent Builder.
So what is it really? Think of the Conversational Agents console as one single place, one unified interface for building some seriously advanced agents. And here's the magic trick. It lets you use both of those approaches we just talked about, the predictable, deterministic flows and the flexible, goal-driven playbooks, all inside the same agent.
That all sounds amazing in theory, but what does it actually look like when you get your hands dirty? Let's walk through building your very first agent right now. You're going to see just how fast you can go from, well, nothing, to a working conversational agent.
The whole process is actually incredibly simple. You just open the console, pick a project, and hit Create Agent. You give it a name, set the basics, and then you hit Step 5. Now this is the really interesting part. This is your first big decision. Do you want your conversation to start with a flexible generative playbook or a more structured, predictable flow? You make that one choice, click Create, and boom, you're in.
And that choice you just made, it's absolutely fundamental. I mean, everything in this console really revolves around these two super powerful but very different ways of building, playbooks and flows. So let's really break down what they are. The best way to think about it is like this. A flow is kind of like one of those old choose-your-own-adventure books, right? Every single path is already written out. You control exactly where the user can go. It's a bit rigid, sure, but it's super reliable. A playbook, on the other hand, that's like giving a world-class improv comedian a goal, like make the audience laugh, and a box of props. You don't give them lines, you just trust them to use the tools you gave them to get the job done.
So let's dive a little deeper into flows. This is where you become the architect. You are literally building the blueprint for the conversation. You use these things called flows, pages, and state handlers to map out every single possible turn. This is absolutely perfect for those really structured tasks, the ones where you have to get specific information in a specific order, no exceptions. Think booking a doctor's appointment or filling out an official form.
And then you have playbooks. If flows make you an architect, playbooks make you a director. You're not writing a tight script, you're just giving guidance. You feed the AI instructions, maybe some examples of what a good conversation looks like, and you give it a set of tools, which are basically APIs or functions it can call. Then, the AI itself figures out the best way to solve the user's problem. This is a total game changer for things like complex tech support, where there's just no way you could predict every single question someone might ask.
Okay, so now that we've got a handle on the core ideas of flows and playbooks, let's take a quick look around the console itself. Think of it as a little tour of your new workshop.
Right at the very top of the screen, you've got what I like to call the command center. This is your 30,000-foot view of everything. It's where you manage all the big picture, project-level stuff for your agent, before you get into the nitty-gritty details of the conversation itself. Some of the really key things up here are, your project and agent switcher, all your main settings, and the change history so you can see who's been tweaking what. But the big one, the one we really care about, is the simulator. We're going to come back to that in just a minute.
Okay, let's go from the high-level command center down to where the real magic happens, the left navigation bar. This is your builder's toolkit. This is the workshop where you're going to be spending most of your time actually crafting those conversations.
And hey, look at that. Right at the top, you see our two heroes. A whole section for building your generative playbooks, and another for designing your deterministic flows. You'll also find the spot to define those tools we talked about, and of course, the Integrations tab. That's for connecting your finished agent out to the real world, like a website chat or a phone system.
So you've architected your flows, you've directed your playbooks. Now for the really fun part, bringing that agent to life and actually talking to it in the simulator.
The official documentation just puts this perfectly. The simulator isn't just some basic chat window.
It's a full-on, interactive, debugging environment where you can have a real conversation and watch in real time exactly what's going on under the hood.
And this thing is absolutely packed with features. You can test with text, with audio, you can even simulate someone pressing buttons on a phone. You can inject certain parameters just to test those tricky edge cases. But what's really crucial here isn't just the input, it's the debugging power. You get tools to trace the entire conversation flow, to replay it, even to undo a turn. It gives you total visibility so you can find and squash any bugs before you ever go live.
So when you put it all together, the single interface, that dual power of flows and playbooks, plus these incredible testing tools, it becomes really clear that this is way more than just an update. It's a genuine, centralized hub for building the next generation of conversational AI.
The big takeaway here is simple, but it's so powerful. You've got one console. It blends two completely different, incredibly powerful ways of building, and that just opens the door to creating a practically endless variety of smart, helpful, and actually engaging conversations. So I guess that just leaves one last question. Now that you have the power of strict control and wild creativity right at your fingertips, what kind of conversation are you going to build first? A super efficient booking bot? A brilliant product genius? Or maybe something nobody's even thought of yet? The toolkit is ready for you.